In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a stroke reveal effect for your logos in After Effects. So let's get to it. First, I'm going to create a new composition. It will be a 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, 5 seconds for the duration. Click OK. Then drag the logo to the timeline. Press S on the keyboard and adjust the scale of the logo if needed. I'll increase mine so it is nicely in the center of the composition. So after you've adjusted the scale and the position of the logo, right-click on it, select Pre-Compose. Let's call this Pre-Comp Logo and make sure Move All Attributes is selected. Then click OK. Here, let's click away so the logo comp is not highlighted. Then select the pen tool up top, or you can press G on the keyboard as a shortcut. Click on the word Fill and set it to None. Then click on the word Stroke, set it to a solid color. And for the color of the stroke, I suggest you choose something that would be easily distinguishable from the main color of the logo. And in my case, the logo is white, so choosing something like red would be perfect to see the results. So click OK. And pretty much what we need to do here is to cover our logo with a stroke. So I'm going to click a point here and another one here. You can see that creates the stroke, but it is not wide enough to cover like entire element of the logo. That's why I'm going to increase the stroke width until it does cover it. So something like 60 would be perfect in my case. So this would be different depending on the type of the logo that you're using. Here, if we click a point, you can see nothing is happening. That is because if we open the shape layer properties, content, you can see that shape 2 is being created. So we don't want that. We want to continue where we left off. So for that, we're going to select the shape layer and select the last point that you've created. So this one, simply left click on it. And then as you create a new point, it'll automatically continue from that. So just a quick tip. And keep doing that until you cover like entire elements. So something like that. And then you can, adjust the position and everything. Make sure you're doing a precise job so you're not leaving out any parts of the logo uncovered. So something like that. And as you can see, my logo has 3 different elements. And I'm going to create separate strokes to cover each one separately. So we have one, and now I'm going to create a second one. So before I do though, I want to select the shape layer so it's highlighted and then create a new one. So you can see that creates shape 2, right? So I'm going to, again, create the outline, something like that, and then adjust the position at the end. Again, just to do a precise job at it. And this is the most time-consuming process of this tutorial, so just take your time to adjust everything nicely. So I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to wait. So here you can see I've covered the logo completely with 3 different strokes. So next step would be to open the Effects and Presets window and search for an effect called Set Matte. Then add this effect to the logo composition. Head over to the effect controls and set Take Matte from Layer. We're going to select Shape Layer 1. And then we want to hide the visibility of the shape layer by toggling this eye icon. Now you can see that we no longer see the shape layer, but we can use the alpha matte of the shape layer to create the stroke reveal for the logo. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to select all shape layers in the content. So hold the Control key and simply left click on all of them until all of them are selected. Then click on this Add button, select Trim Paths. That will create trim paths for each shape separately. And we need to do it this way because this will allow us to offset individual set of the keyframes forward in time. So the strokes animate at different times. Now I'm going to expand the trim paths, any of them. Make sure the time indicator is at the start of the timeline. I'm going to create a keyframe for end by clicking the stopwatch and set it to 0%. Let's move 1 or 2 seconds forward. I'll move 2 seconds forward and set start to 100%. Now I'm going to press U on the keyboard to isolate the keyframes. I'm going to drag and select them all, right-click any of them, Keyframe Assistant Easy Ease, or you can press F9 as a shortcut. That'll ease out the keyframes. Now while the keyframes are selected, I'm going to open the graph editor, right-click and make sure the Edit Speed graph is selected. Then I'm going to drag and select this point here. You'll see the yellow handle, and drag that handle all the way to the left. So the graph should look like this. Now if we exit the graph editor, and preview the animation, like this is the stroke reveal effect that we have. And one thing I don't like about this is like you can see that this weird rectangular shape that doesn't look nice, and you can fix it by changing the line cap of the stroke. The easiest way to do that would be to type line cap in the search bar. Line cap, that will give you all the line caps for the shape layers, and set all of them to a round cap. And what that does is it pretty much makes the end of the stroke rounded, and you can see that you won't get any weird rectangular edges at the end of the stroke. Now, if we press U again, we'll see the keyframes. So we're going to offset each set of the keyframes by like 2 or 3 frames. So I'm going to move 2 frames forward from the start, 1, 2. Select the second set of the keyframes and move them forward. Make sure both of them are selected. Then again, move 2 frames forward. Select the other set of the keyframes and move them to this point. So kind of create the staircase. You can see that each stroke is animating at different times. And also to make everything nice and smooth, we can check the motion blur icon. This one, if you don't see the column, click toggle switches on mode and enable motion blur from here, and make sure this one is also blue so you can see the motion blur. You can see that makes everything very nice and smooth. So after you've created this stroke reveal, this is like the base of this effect. You can select both layers, right click, select pre-compose. Now let's call this one stroke reveal. Click OK. And here we're going to create color variation. So I'm going to select the stroke reveal composition, go into edit and select duplicate. Press Ctrl D as a shortcut, and we need 2 duplicates. So again, create 3 in total. Then open Effects and Presets window and search for fill. Then you want to add fill to the first and to the second layers from the bottom. So don't add it to the third one. Now I'm going to select the stroke reveal, the first one. And for the fill color, I'll choose a very nice like pinkish color like this. Click OK, then select the second one. And for the color, let's choose a very bright blue, something like that. Click OK. And we're going to offset each layer forward in time by a few frames. So let's do 2 frames, 1, 2. Move this layer here, 1, 2, and move this layer here. So again, kind of create the staircase. And now if we preview this, we have this bit that is not supposed to be there. And to fix it, we open the stroke reveal layer and select the shape layer. Again, select the pen tool or press G on the keyboard. And we're going to move this point a bit back so we don't see it. Right, let's go back to the render composition, select the selection tool. And now if we preview this, we can see that we have the variation in color. So look, the whole animation looks a lot more interesting now. Okay, after you've done that, you can drag and select all the layers, right click any of them, pre-compose, and let's call this one final. And here we're going to add finalizing touches and add simple property animations such as scale and rotation. So I'm going to expand the properties, transform, move the time indicator to the start, create a keyframe for scale and rotation. Now press U to isolate the properties, set rotation to -180 degrees. I'm going to move to 1 second, set scale to 125%, then move to 2 seconds, set scale to 90% and rotation to 0. Now I'm going to drag and select the keyframes, press F9 to easily use them, open the graph editor. I'm going to click away, then select the scale property, select this middle point here and drag this handle to the right all the way, and this is how the graph should look. Then I'm going to select the rotation property and select this second point, drag the handle all the way to the left, and that's how the graph should look. Now exit the graph editor and also enable motion blur for this final animation to make everything nice and smooth. And here's the final animation, so let's go ahead and preview it. And this is the complete stroke reveal effect created in After Effects using simple approach and techniques. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.